Good morning and welcome to the 2022 NCAA Division II Softball Selection Show. I'm your host, Will Haskett. Full field back in play for the championship this season. 64 teams will learn their seeds and destinations for this coming weekend's regional play. There are 16 different pods of 4 teams that will compete in a double elimination bracket. The 2 winners of each pod in each region will then meet in a super regional best-of-3 series coming up the following weekend. That'll leave 8 regional winners advancing to Denver to compete for a national championship that's coming up May 26th through the 31st, hosted by MSU Denver. With 23 automatic berths already accounted for, that means 41 teams will earn precious at-large berths today. And we begin the process right now, figuring out who those teams are as we dive into the bracket. We're going to start out west. It's early out there. Get the coffee on the pot because it's rise and shine. For the top seed in the west, that belongs to Cal State San Marcos. They will host a pod, the CCAA's top scoring offense from this season, looking to take that same scoring punch into the NCAA postseason. Paige Donnelly driving in over a run per game and slugging it at .750 this year. That led both the conference in both categories this year. They'll lead off against Northwest Nazarene, champions of the GNAC here in 2022. 4 seed belonging to Sonoma State, already postseason tested in conference this year. The Seawolves set a conference record with 16 runs in a single game so far this postseason. The offense peaking at the right time and earned the conference title for 1 trophy already here in the month of May. And they start with Cal State Monterey Bay. Never count out the Otters who return to the tournament. They were down 2 in the conference semifinal game on Saturday. The team scored 3 to keep on playing, and you know that they will be a tough out in this first of 2 West Region pods. Sliding over to the other one, 3rd seed is Chico State, 14th appearance for one of the stronger programs in the country. Brooke Larson, the leader in the circle. She led the conference in strikeouts entering this past weekend and led her team in wins this season. She'll no doubt be in the circle against Cal State Dominguez Hills, 10th NCAA tournament appearance for that program. This pod hosted by the 2 seed, that would be CUI. Strong season in the Pac West for the Eagles, and they're poised for a big NCAA tournament. Having 6 all-conference selections certainly helps, including a pitching staff that leads the nation in ERA this year. On offense, outfielder Megan Massa is the 2022 Pac West Player of the Year after leading the league with a .414 batting average and 18 doubles this year. Leadoff hitter collected 23 multi-hit games and a 10-game hitting streak while starting all 51 this season. Azusa Pacific will be the first matchup for them, holding on to the final spot in this region as an at-large selection. All right, we head now to the Southeast region, where Anderson is the top overall seed. Head coach Tommy Hewitt in his 17th year. He reached the 500-win milestone earlier this season, currently at 509 wins on the year. Helps to have players like Kaysen Boatner, the senior first baseman, broke Anderson University's season records in all of the following categories. Slugging percentage, this year she's slugging at over 1,000 at 1.046. Total bases, she has 158 this year. That shattered the previous record of 142. Home runs, she's at 23 and counting. She tied the South Atlantic Conference season home run record with those 23 dingers this year. And she will step into the box against Francis Marion, the Patriots, using the run to the Conference Carolinas championship game to snag the final at-large spot in the region. King is the 4 seed here, 2nd regular season Conference Carolinas championship for the program, the first coming back in 2013. 3rd Conference Carolinas tournament championship and NCAA regional appearance for the program as well. School record this year in wins, currently on a school record 15-game winning streak. Nicole Counts, the Conference Carolinas tournament most outstanding player, had 1 complete game shutout, allowed only 2 hits in the championship game to Francis Marion. The all-tournament team included Cameron Haig, who matched a program record with 9 defensive assists in the semifinal win over Emmanuel. A lot of other all-tournament team participants on this roster. They will face 5th-seeded Lincoln Memorial in the opener. Top fielding team in the SAC this year was stellar behind Emma Frost much of this year. She led the conference in wins, another conference champion in this battle of 2 automatic qualifiers. And our 2nd Southeast Region pod is hosted by Lenore Ryan, the 2 seed, returning to the NCAA tournament for the 14th time in program history and the first since back in 2018. Lauren Rakes leads the Bears in the circle and ranks 4th in the nation in strikeouts, with opponents hitting just 179 against her this year. Offensively, Kylie Lenhart became the program's all-time leader in home runs and RBIs this season, and Savannah Moorfield is close to becoming the all-time hits leader for this program as well. Head coach Sheena Holler won her 900th career game this year, ranks as the 9th most among active D2 head coaches. To look for another win against Wingate, the Bulldogs, led on offense by Sarah Stroud, scored more than more runs per game than any player in the conference this year. And in the Circle, Sydney Cale has shown incredible control, has one of the best strikeout to walk ratios in the country. 3 seed is the powerhouse from North Georgia, the 2015 national champions. Made another deep run last year. They returned Gracie Mixon as part of a strong lineup. She was named All-Tournament a season ago and helped lead this team to a Peach Belt title this past week. Carson Newman will be the opening matchup. 6-seeded offense has been epic this season, setting numerous program records on the offensive side. They've scored 6 or more runs in a game. It's more common than not, and it's almost a perfect magic number when they get to 6 runs in terms of being able to win. Infielder Emily Harris is a big part of that, the NCAA career active leader in at-bats and hits. She will lead this team into the NCAA run. All right, to our next region, we go to the South. 4th seed here belongs to Nova Southeastern, the co-champs of the Sunshine State Conference with Tampa. They like to keep runners on the move. Multiple players have 20 or more steals this year, and no team in conference swiped more bags this season than Nova Southeastern did in conference play. They looked around the bases in another NCAA postseason trip. And they'll be taken off against Alabama Huntsville. 19th straight appearance in the tournament, which remains the longest active streak in D2. 3rd longest streak behind Bloomsburg and Omaha across all divisions. 24th time to go in 26 years the tournament's been held. This is the program's 27th year of existence. All right, the top seed and host here is AUM. Auburn and Montgomery, the Warhawks, continuing to impress this year with a balanced roster of experience and youth, which took this team to back-to-back conference championship games. This team got 2 wins in the regional a season ago. They now look to take the next step and get to play on their home field here in 2022 to battle against Tuskegee in the opener, the SIAC champions earning the automatic qualifier and the final spot in this region. 2 seed and hosting the other pod is Tampa. The Spartans earned a share of the Sunshine State Conference title on Saturday. They did it with a win over Rollins, which marked the 5th conference title in program history. Pitching has been the key all season long. Mary Beth Feldman and Mariah Gallhouse, the top 2 pitchers in the conference in terms of ERA, they combined for a staff ERA of 1.18, which is 2nd best in the nation. And they will pitch it up against Embry-Riddle, familiar conference foe in the first round, featuring the top run scorer and Mahalia Sandridge, who also led the Sunshine State in triples and was 2nd in slugging. Valdosta State earns the 3 seed. This year marks the 10-year anniversary of the program's lone national championship. The top slugging team in the Gulf South Conference belted more than 70 home runs this year, led by 3 different players who had 10 or more. And that'll be a tough lineup to face against Rollins, top slugging team in the Sunshine State Conference. Chelsea Peace, the top home run threat in that one. We could see a lot of balls leaving the yard in that first-round matchup in the South. All right, we head now to the South Central region as we continue to move along. 4th region to unveil here today, with the top overall seed belongs to UT Tyler, a more than impressive record for the Patriots this year, who suffered a rare loss this season. It came in the semifinals of the Lone Star Conference tournament. Mike Reed was coach of the year in the conference, has 7 all-conference players on the roster, and that included newcomer of the year Tatum Goff, who threw a no-hitter this past week and was the lead starter this season. She can also hit. She's top 5 in team average this year at the plate. She will likely get the ball against Colorado Christian. The RMAC champions are tournament bound for a 3rd time. 4th seed belongs to Lubbock Christian, where Casey Flores powers the offense as one of the top sluggers in the country this season. She's top 10 in the nation in home runs, and she will step into the box against Angelo State, the 5 seed, the 2004 national champions. Always perennial powers and always a threat not just to capture the region, but make a run all the way to the championship series. The other 4 teams in the South Central starts with 3rd-seeded Texas A&M Kingsville. 3rd straight trip to the NCAA tournament and the first time ever reaching 3 in a row. 43 wins. You see the impressive record, most ever in a regular season. The team has already set records for the most home runs, doubles, homers, steals, and so far this season they've hit for the highest average on-base percentage and slugging percentage in program history. Senior Lauren Kelly has broken the program's career record for hits and runs scored this season. She also broke her own program record for steals earlier this season. Those are big, gaudy offensive numbers that Oklahoma Christian is going to try and slow down. Aaliyah Brown led the Lone Star Conference in batting this season with an average above 450 entering this past weekend. The host of these games is Texas A&M Commerce. Some impressive performances this year from this squad, including Ushua Modrago, who hit 4 home runs against Adams State, the first 4 home run game in the NCAA since all the way back in 2019. Then you have Alyssa LeBlanc pitching. She had 2 no-hitters this season and struck out a program best 17 at one point in time in a game. The pitching staff is top 10 in the country in strikeouts, and offense is top 10 in home runs. So you've got a little bit of everything on both sides of the field. And they will battle St. Mary's in the opener, snagging the final spot in a region that has incredible depth. With St. Mary's in the field, that means we will not have a repeat champion. West Texas A&M does not get a spot. That's how good the South Central region has been in years past and this season as well. All right, so we are 4 regions in, 4 more to go. We'll step aside for just a quick break. We'll unveil the remaining 32 teams right after this.
There's an energy swelling out beyond the limits of your expectations. A universe where fandom reigns supreme. Once you're in it, it changes you. Instead of one of one, you're one of many. A blissful sea of chaos. Go beyond your limits and enter the NCAA universe. Get your seats today at ncaa.com/tickets.
Welcome back to the Division II Softball Selection Show. We are 4 regions in, 4 more to go. Let's not waste any more time, as we know all those teams right now waiting, trying to figure out where you'll be playing this coming weekend. We go to the Midwest region, and the first of 2 pods starts with 4th-seeded Lindenwood, making the last day of the GLVC Championship a big momentum builder for a program celebrating an at-large bid and now look for a first regional title in program history. And they will start with a matchup against Drury. The success for this school may come down to Christina Bettis in the circle. She's gone the distance in over 23 starts this year, top 10 in the nation. She's also top 10 in the country in hits allowed and led the GLVC in wins this year. These games hosted by the top seed Southern Indiana, the GLVC champions, flying into the tournament fresh off the heels of one major win so far this postseason. Allie Gooden pitched 13 consecutive scoreless innings to help propel the Eagles to the 5th conference title in school history. That gives the team 2 great arms to lean on for another tournament run. And they will start against Saginaw Valley, fresh off a magical run to the GLIAC title in the championship and earning the automatic qualifier here in the Midwest. Other 4 teams in this region are all heading to Indianapolis because Indy is the 2 seed and the host of this one. Top offense and pitching staff in the GLVC this year. That adds up to a dangerous combination when it comes to this region. The Greyhounds are led in the circle by Kenzie Smith, one of just a handful of pitchers in the nation with a sub-1 ERA, combined with the rest of the staff, a team ERA of 1.22, top 3 in the country this year. And they will battle Findlay in the opener. They rely on an at-large berth after bowing out in the GMAC tournament, but the Oilers sneak into the field and take the conference's top offense to test the rest of the Midwest region. Avery Shepard topped the conference in hits and runs and looks to be the catalyst of the offense coming up in this postseason. The Oilers getting into the field here in the Midwest. Grand Valley State knew they'd be here. The Lakers, it's been 20 years since they came 1 win away from that elusive national title. The GLIAC's top offense this year, scoring more than 6.5 runs per game. Lydia Goebel entered the weekend hitting .468 for the season, one of the more feared bats in the lineup. She knocks in over a run per game. And she will be a threat against Ohio Dominican. The GMAC Conference champions are back a year after going 2-2 in this region. Can they get an additional win to try and propel their way all the way to Denver? All right, we slide to the East now, where Adelphi is the top overall seed. No surprise here. The team won the program's most regular season games since 2008. Pitcher Claire Fawn was named the Northeast 10 Pitcher of the Year. Catcher Angela Lignelli was named Northeast 10 Defensive Player of the Year. And then you've got head coach Carla Campagna, who was named the Northeast 10 Coach of the Year. Add it all up, it's a number 1 seed and hosting duties for Adelphi in the East, a storied softball program back and expecting big things. They will lead off against Pace, the 8 seed, snagging the last at-large for the program's 4th tournament appearance. Caldwell, the 4 seed here, the Cougars denied a chance to show that they were the top team in the CACC when the tournament was canceled due to this weekend's poor weather, but a spot in the East Regional will give them a chance to showcase the conference's top offense in a full postseason run in the NCAA tournament. And they start against St. Anselm. The Hawks have won 2 of the last 3 East Regional titles and played host to the pod on multiple occasions, so there's plenty of recent postseason experience to build off of. First team all-conference pitcher Haley Hicks had pitched just 2 innings in her entire career before this season and surpassed the 20-win mark and becoming the dominant force in the circle for the Hawks this year. The D2 national runner-ups in 2018, this program has a winning percentage above .750 over the last 5 seasons. All right, to the other pod in the East, where Georgian Court is your 2 seed, the 2022 CACC regular season champions. That makes 3 straight seasons as a regular season winner, 2 straight now conference tournament championships, and 3 straight NCAA regional berths. As the number 1 seed in last year's East region, they came within 1 win of their first ever berth in the NCAA Division II softball championships quarterfinals. Also came within 1 game back in 2009, but they currently own a 10-game winning streak, and they hope to propel that winning streak all the way to a deep run to Denver. They'll start against Bridgeport, champions of the ECC for a 3rd straight year, thanks to 7 all-conference honorees. This will be Bridgeport's 3rd straight NCAA appearance after winning the team's 3rd consecutive East Coast Conference title on Sunday. It was a 2-0 win over Malloy. Junior Katie Borowski was named the tournament's most outstanding player for a 2nd straight season as she won all 3 games in the circle, a 2-time ECC Pitcher of the Year. She's one of the nation's top strikeout artists, 336 strikeouts so far this year, an impressive 25-6 one-loss record. She heads in the NCAA tournament with a school record 575 career strikeouts. The other opening matchup here in the second pot of the East pits 3-seeded Wilmington, winners of 11 of the past 13 games, and in the tournament for a 6th time against Franklin Pierce. The NE10's top scoring offense hit above 300 as a team this season. All right, we transition to the Central region now, where the 4th seed belongs to Minnesota State. Senior pitcher Mackenzie Ward eclipsing 1,000 career strikeouts as a Maverick, 2nd all-time in school history. She was named the Northern Sun Pitcher of the Week 7 times this season and 17 times now in her career. She was also named the National Pitcher of the Week once this season. She's top 5 in the country in strikeouts and ERA. She's held opposing batters to a 144 average. And don't sleep on the offense either. Senior shortstop Tori Richards is now 6th all-time in career hits at Minnesota State with 242. That's a lethal 1-2 against 5th-seeded Washburn. The walk-off victims in the MIAA championship game, they get another chance to close out an even bigger tournament this postseason. And speaking of that championship game, it was Rogers State that earned the automatic qualifier, and they will now host as the top seed in the Central. The Hillcats still celebrating that dramatic MIAA tournament title over Washburn. They were down a run heading into their last at-bat. Michaela Bowman launched a leadoff solo home run to tie the game and force extra innings, and they would walk it off in the 9th, getting a 2-out, 2-run blast from Chelsea Spain to secure the first tournament title in program history. And they will get Winona State in the opener. Abby Hias leading the Northern Sun in hitting this year, top 10 in the country in batting average this year for this team. Other half of the Central region, 2 seed belongs to our hosts from Central Oklahoma, the 2013 national champions, poised for another deep tournament run. JC Minter leading the offense that scored more runs than any other team in the Mid-America this year. She also entered the weekend leading the nation in doubles. Southern Arkansas will be the opening matchup. These 2 teams played a thriller in this same region last year and reunite for another matchup in the NCAA postseason. Alongside Augustana, the 1991 and 2019 national champions, 1 win away from advancing the championship series last year, and they hope to take the next step in 2022 after securing another Northern Sun championship this season. And they start against Arkansas Tech, another postseason tested squad in this region. They made the Central region a season ago, but now seek a victory and come in off a late run to a GAC title. We go to the Atlantic next. No surprise, top seed here, one of the more dominant programs in the sport. We say hello to Kutztown. The Bears have a storied history in the NCAA postseason with everything but a national championship, and this could be the year after rattling off 4 straight wins to capture the PSAC title yesterday. It was their first since 2013. The team has a lot of belief right now in something bigger, but more impressive is that all 4 wins in the tournament run were come from behind victories, so you certainly can't count out this team. They will face 8-seeded Fairmont State. The Mountain East champions earn the automatic qualifier and a spot here in the Atlantic. Mercyhurst was the team that advanced to that championship showdown against Kutztown and lost, but they can carry that momentum now into an NCAA trip and the 4 seed for their troubles against West Virginia Wesleyan, a mainstay in this region, 40 tournament wins all time in program history. Other half of the Atlantic starts with Bloomsburg. Callie Sowers will get most of the work in the circle for the 3 seed. She led the conference in strikeouts this season, and she'll pitch against the host of this pod. It's 6th-seeded Shippensburg. The Raiders back in the tournament thanks to the top bat in the PSAC. Hannah Marsteller hit over 500 this year for this program while also leading the conference in home runs and RBIs, and now will get the benefit of being able to play at home for this pod, trying to make it into the Super Regional in the Atlantic. Seton Hill is your 2 seed. Morgan Ryan leading a pitching staff that posted a sub-2 ERA this season, best in conference. She was the last pitcher of the week in the regular season and will look to dominate to help the Griffins advance. And it starts against Claflin. Congratulations to the Panthers on becoming CIAA champions this season and a trip to the regional. And with that final team, the field is now officially set. Each team knows where that path begins to a national championship. All 16 regional sites have first pitches coming up this Thursday, with the winners advancing to determine regional champions the following week. The best 8 teams head to MSU Denver the final week of May to determine a national champion. You can follow the action all the way through that championship here on NCAA.com. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Will Haskett. Congratulations and best of luck to all the student athletes competing in this year's championship.
There's an energy swelling out beyond the limits of your expectations. A universe where fandom reigns supreme. Once you're in it, it changes you. Instead of one of one, you're one of many. A blissful sea of chaos. Go beyond your limits and enter the NCAA universe. Get your seats today at ncaa.com/tickets.